Hundreds are gathering in Cordova today, then heading to Springfield to urge lawmakers to save hundreds of jobs and create even more. Then it's life or death for the man convicted of killing the sisters of Iowa State Representative Mary Wolfe. Sentencing begins today.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning. I'm Emily Scarlett. Thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. Hundreds are heading to Springfield today to support a bill that would save hundreds of local jobs. The Exelon power generating station in Cordova is threatening to close if the next generation energy plan isn't passed by the end of the month. Local 4's Greta Patrick joins us live in our newsroom. Greta, how would this bill help to keep the at-risk plant open?
Well, good morning, Emily. According to the Next Generation Energy Plan's website, the bill is expected to save and create thousands of jobs, deliver clean energy, and jumpstart solar development in Illinois. If passed, the plan would save $4 billion statewide. It would provide for $1 billion in low-income programs. That's in addition to saving thousands of existing jobs. According to the Chamber of Commerce, Exelon's Quad Cities plant employs about 800 people. Earlier this month, Exelon's board of directors gave the okay to shut down the Quad Cities facility unless the bill is passed by the end of the legislative session on May 31st. To try and make sure that doesn't happen, more than 500 people will head to Springfield today. Community leaders, plant employees, environmentalists, and others will urge Illinois lawmakers to pass the Next Generation Energy Plan. Everyone headed to Springfield today will gather in the Exelon plant's parking lot at 6:45. The buses are leaving from the energy plant at 7:15 this morning. That puts them in Springfield around 10 this morning, where they'll tell lawmakers how important saving the at-risk energy plant is to our state. Greta Patrick, Local 4 News this morning.
Thanks, Greta. The man convicted of murdering the sisters of an Iowa State lawmaker could face the death penalty. Sentencing for Alan Wade begins today. A Pennsylvania jury found him guilty on all counts for the shooting deaths of Sarah and Susan Wolfe. The two victims were sisters of Iowa State Representative Mary Wolfe. Prosecutors say Wade shot 44-year-old Susan and 38-year-old Sarah after they returned from work in February of 2014. He then stole a bank card and withdrew $600. Wade will either get the death penalty or life in prison. A teenager who once confessed to a murder in Moline will get a new trial. Prosecutors say Lamari Wilson Newlieb killed 19-year-old Zach Phillips and wounded an 18-year-old a little more than a year ago. A judge later sentenced him to nearly 60 years in prison for the crimes. But now Wilson Newlieb says he only pleaded guilty because he thought he would be sent to a juvenile detention center until he turned 18. Instead, the Illinois Department of Corrections sent him directly to prison because he would be 18 in just 3 months. His new trial is scheduled for June. A Clinton teacher faces a felony charge of sexual abuse. Investigators say 40-year-old Christopher Nielsen made sexual contact with a 15-year-old student. Nielsen teaches special education at a middle school. He started working there in 2008. Illinois lawmakers are now in crunch mode. The state needs 2 budgets by the end of May. During a press conference with members of the business community on Monday, Governor Bruce Rauner said he's optimistic a balanced budget will come soon. But he also says if Democrats want to raise taxes, they need to include parts of his turnaround agenda. Republicans in attendance say if a budget is not passed before the deadline, it will be less likely to pass and continue a session.
This is not just a battle of wills. We are really fighting for the very soul of this state. We're asking the Democrats to come together to engage with us and make some compromises.
Republican House Minority Leader Jim Durkin says he's willing to compromise on a tax increase if the governor's reforms are included. And the state of Illinois is not getting any extra money to redesign driver's licenses or state IDs. State officials say plans to print the new cards will not require additional spending. The changes are meant to make them more secure and comply with federal standards. Some Davenport students are giving back to the community in a big way. West High School's Student Senate raised $15,000 last week. They organized several events to come up with the money, and students say this was no easy task.
It did take a lot of work for us to get it all organized and stuff. Like planning each individual event took a lot of time from all of us.
The group handed out 2 checks yesterday. One goes to King's Harvest Ministries. The other went to King's Harvest No Kill Shelter. And these are our future leaders. There are adults that, organize nonprofit events that can't raise $15,000 because it isn't an easy task. And here they are. They did it.
Yeah, hopefully they probably have that energy to get the job done, and that sets them up well in life too.
Yes, hopefully that energy continues. They've got a great start.
Yes, they definitely do.
Well, we haven't had a bad start to the week, Anthony. How are things looking as we start out this Tuesday?
Well, we started the week off with the warmest temperatures so far this spring and this year at 87 degrees yesterday. It won't be as warm today because we're going to have some more humidity in the air and a few more clouds and showers around. But starting out pretty mild right now, 65 degrees with calm winds in the Quad Cities. We've had some showers to move through Iowa City and around Tipton. Those are trying to hold together and make their way up toward Maquoketa and up toward Dubuque, so you may get a shower there. As we put our temperature forecast into motion, we'll see highs today in the low to mid 80s. Tonight, we only fall back to the 60s, basically where we are right now. And tomorrow, temperature is pretty similar to today again in the low or mid 80s.
That's when you know it's getting hot outside, when those overnight temperatures are as mild as we're seeing right now.
That's right. And if this was July, we'd probably see them creep even higher, into the low to mid 70s, but we're not there just yet. But we are coming off a really cool start to the month of May, but you can see that that's definitely changing.
Well, I'm happy to see those warmer temperatures in here. Thanks, Anthony. Playoffs begin for teams on both sides of the river, and Jay Gibbs shot put a try in this week's Go For It. We've got your morning sports right after the break.
It's 6:38. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you with Emily Scarlett and meteorologist Anthony Peoples. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.